Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ramblemania proudly brings to you. It is I, your inaugural Ramblemania champion, four-time Ramblemania champion, now a former Ramblemania Tag Team champion, Hazel the Izami, done along with me as always.
It's your boy Twin Savage, former Ramblemania co-champion, but we will get the titles again, man. We will get them.
Welcome to another edition of Raw Rants, where we basically tell you the good, the bad, and you know what? This it wasn't even good or bad. The whole thing was just repetition of Monday Night Raw last week and this week. Because God damn, both shows was horrible.
Horrible. Lady.
People thought last week's was bad. This week's, I don't even think topped what last week did. Like last week, it was the go home. It was basically the Raw after WrestleMania. And you know, when it's the Raw after WrestleMania, there's always has to be like something huge, a huge return, a big debut. Someone else is going to get a push. They start switching everything up. It's basically a new season. It's a brand new season for all these guys out here. Oh, and for everyone in La La Land, happy motherfucking 420 to you all. Yeah. Um. But yeah, what we basically saw last week was atrocious to everything that transpired this week was just 100% borderline garbage.
Doo-doo. Dukes. Straight Mahoney.
I mean, on top of what happened last week on Raw, we had this really huge fucking bust slip. But before we get to this whole list of releases that just happened, this week we will be debuting our SmackDown review. What's SmackDown?
What's SmackDown?
We'll be reviewing it every Fridays right after SmackDown. And we'll be up within the weeks. So we will be getting our very first episode within a few days. So hopefully you guys will be ready for that. We got graphics, we got name tags, and got all that stuff all set up and ready to go. We just have to start watching it. Well, Twin watches SmackDown more than I do. So I need to start watching SmackDown every fucking Fridays now. Because why not? 2 hours doesn't kill me.
2 hours. Just two.
So we got this insane amount of people, well, 10 people that have been released. Not worse than what happened last year. I think last year they released like 20 people and they furloughed like 10 of them.
Yeah, yes. Last year it was pretty bad. This year it wasn't that bad, but definitely a few shockers.
Because it wasn't just wrestlers they released last year. They released, producers, people that worked in the office in Connecticut, like writers, all that stuff. But some of those people that were just like non-wrestlers, some of those were furloughed. And they were able to come back whether the budgets was back in place or whatever. They're just using the same excuse again here because budget cuts. But WWE is about to make their quarter one advance in 2 weeks time. So I don't I again, like, I'm not good with numbers, I'm not good with finances, but this is what I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was just unjustified that these people got released. Your quarter one yearly annual salary is about to go up in a couple weeks. What kind of sense does that make? So let me read the list off to you of the people who have been released. The Iconics, Peyton Royce and Billy Kay are released. Mickie James, Chelsea Green, Tucker, good riddance. Kalisto, good riddance. Bo Dallas, why? Wesley Blake, good riddance. Mojo Rawley, good fucking riddance. I hated him. Last but not least, Samoa Joe, probably one of the biggest releases throughout this year in WWE. Compared to like all the 9 that are there.
I'll say this. Kalisto, they could have done something with him. He's a great talent. Like he was underutilized, honestly. That man, he's in amazing shape. He could do amazing things, bro. But he wasn't. I'm not like I'm not gonna say he wasn't like one of those shockers. I feel like the ones I was shocked for was like the Iconics and the Iconics and Samoa Joe. Those were the ones I was most shocked for. But yeah, hopefully those people, they'll find some bookings and stuff. I know Chelsea Green, not Chelsea Green. I know Peyton Royce changed her name to Cassie Lee.
Yeah, the Iconics changed their names already. I think one of them's using like their real name.
I think it's Cassie Lee. I think it's Peyton Royce.
Yeah. So Mickey James was someone that I was pretty shocked for. I was just like, you could have, kept her around. Like she may not wrestle anymore, but she could be like a good female ambassador for the company,
Mm-hmm.
or work at the performance center with training some of the newer ladies that are just coming in. Like releasing her it was shocking, but I think everyone is really talking about Samoa Joe. Like the Iconics, yeah. I care that they got released because they could have done something with them instead of breaking them up, which is what they did incorrectly. They should have never broke them up to begin with, and I don't understand why they did that.
Cause people are dumb. That's right. Cause people are dumb as hell, bro. That comic book shit, like they have
Chelsea Green's situation was not really her fault. It's
injury.
just injuries. I wouldn't even call her an injury prone. It's just there are some people in the company that are just not safe to work with. And those people are the ones that are basically the ones injuring her. So I don't blame Chelsea Green for this. But you know what? At least she can go back to Impact and be with her husband.
Whoa, 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 the broski.
Um, Bo Dallas, I didn't want him to go. Not that I didn't care for Bo Dallas being in the company because of his brother. It's just he could still be used for something that involves his brother. Like he could be.
They listen. They should have believed some damn more. Okay.
It was Vince that didn't like the whole Bo leave thing because it like anything that Triple H has touched has turned to gold, but the minute Vince touches it, it becomes coal. And I mean like the coal you get out of your fucking Christmas stocking. So it's just like Vince didn't see anything in Bo Dallas, just like how he didn't see anything in Kalisto or Wesley Blake. Like, did Vince McMahon see anything in Wesley Blake? No. And
Oh,
let me rephrase that. Did Vince McMahon see anything in Mojo Rawley? Because I didn't. I really didn't.
he was just hype. He just had that energy. From me. Just that's all I really seen. He just
I
had that.
mean, but this is really what I'm going to say here. The 10 people who have been released from this company should be happy that they don't have to work in WWE anymore, or they could do their shoots, they could do whatever they want. You know, it's just for fuck's sake, people don't basically jump to conclusions automatically and say, "Oh, 5 out of the 10 people here are gonna go to AEW." No, they're not. Like what? Okay, I understand. If it was Peyton Royce, I'd understand because her husband is in AEW. But I don't see people like Samoa Joe jumping ship immediately to AEW. He could go to Impact. He can go to New Japan. He could go to Ring of Honor. He could go anywhere. Everyone just needs to stop assuming that all these guys that are released are gonna go straight to AEW because AEW is WCW and TNA. No, if they're willing to welcome these people with open arms, they can do that. But you can't welcome everyone. You can't just welcome everyone. Those 10 people that are released, you can't welcome them all because you're basically telling them, welcome to Disneyland, where we're better than Disney World. Like, no, this
Good. That's good.
it's there's a cycle to this. There is a wrestling cycle to this. Not everyone should be doing what everyone else did in the 90s. Not everyone should be jumping to another huge company because they're competing with this company. No. You want to go somewhere? Go to Impact. Go to Ring of Honor. Go to MLW because they're not getting back on TV. Go to New Japan. Everyone's solution needs to stop being these guys can't just go directly to AEW. They can go elsewhere. You know, Andrade might be going back to CMLL, or he might go to AAA. Who knows?
Or Ring
Who
of
no
Honor.
or Ring of Honor? Who knows? But everyone really needs to stop with this whole all these guys are confirmed to go to AEW when nobody is confirmed to go to AEW. And I'm not saying that these guys are confirmed or you guys saying that it was confirmed. It's just these guys just got released last week. Okay, it's been a week. And the minute you saw these guys getting released one by one every hour, it's like, oh, he's going to AEW, he's going to AEW, she's going to AEW. Bro, Joe could go to NWA Power.
Yo,
I'm just saying, stop making this one conclusion that everyone is just going to this one other company that WWE is so-called competing against. Because at this point, they don't even look at AEW as competition. They just see them as this other company. AEW is looking at this as a competition when they really shouldn't to begin with. Do you have anything else to say about this?
Nothing. Just I wish them all the best, and I can't wait to see them pop up on somebody's company. When that does happen, I am gonna be excited because it's gonna it's gonna be something new for them and hopefully something new for us.
I do want to talk about two more things before we get to Raw. You saw the new shows that they put out for A&E on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I watched them.
What did you think of I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna watch it like later on or tomorrow morning. What did you think of the Austin episode?
The Austin episode, I'll be honest, they did a very, very well job with it. They did very well, like, tackling, like, certain stuff that we didn't know. And then you honestly you get to see Austin tear up a little bit about like him having to like early retire. Like he tears up about it. Like he didn't want to, but he knew it was time. Because when he said something like when he came back, like when the weather would change, like he would feel the pain in his body, and that's when he knew his time was up. That's when he knew he had to stop. So they talked about some real interesting stuff, and The Rock was also on there talking about how how the last match that he had with Austin, like at WrestleMania.
Yeah, Mania 19.
Yeah, how Austin told him, "Oh, I love you," and The Rock said it back. I love you too, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, they said it was at the very ending spot when he pinned him. He told The Rock, "I love you," and then with the 3 count, I was like, "Oh, I love you too, brother," and that's it.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people talk about why Austin had to retire. Like, first of all, it wasn't really like spinal stenosis. It wasn't spinal stenosis. It was something he had, like, I think it was a heart condition or something. He almost had a heart attack.
They talk about it in the show. Like he was he was just going through some stuff like that. That time that he wasn't on TV and stuff, like it was Jim Ross that called him up and told him, "Yo, if I set you down with the big man, would you hash things out?" And Austin was like, "Yeah."
But that was when he walked out. We're talking about like before his match at Mania with The Rock.
No. That's what I'm saying. When like he wasn't with the company when that time that he was out for a while for a while, and then he came back. Remember when he came back to do as a general manager, like to with Eric Bischoff and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that was a year later. What you were basically referring to was what happened when he walked out. That was after Mania 18. All right, we're talking about what happened with Mania 19. Because you had the whole thing confused for me. But I understand where you're coming from.
Because they like it was just what he was saying, what he was talking about, like on the show and stuff. Like it was just a lot. Like he was talking about a lot. The show was good. I feel like everybody that that likes Austin, that love Austin, or that love wrestling in general should watch it if they want to know the Stone Cold story for sure. Like that, it's one is coming from him. It's not coming from no other sources. Like it's coming from his mouth. Is him saying these things. So I just feel like everybody should watch it. And also, while we're talking about A&E, That treasure shit. I didn't get to fully watch it, like the treasure hunt where they look for certain
Oh,
items.
so wait, that was after the documentary show?
Yeah, that was
Oh wow.
legit. That was right after I started watching it, but I had to do something, so I didn't get to watch it. But I do have it. I think I have it pre-recorded already, so I am gonna watch it. But I heard that show is pretty good too. They go looking for rare WWE items that they have lost, that maybe other people have, or collectors have, and
Yeah.
and and the shit is like they're trying to buy these things from the collector. They're trying to get it from the collector. So like I want to see like if they come across a collector that may want, that don't want to give it up freely, but that want something in exchange for it. Like I want to see. I want to see like
Yeah, I think I heard the first episode was the very first Mr. Sacco puppet.
it
I
was.
believe that's what it was.
It was no. It was so. What it really was. It was they were looking for the mankind shirt.
The brown one. The
Yeah,
one
they,
that had the weird like symbol on the back. It's all
yeah.
stitched up.
They were looking for that, and then they said if they happen to come across the the Mr. Sacco, that he wanted to do something, he wanted to kind of like reenact the hospital scene.
Yeah, he wanted to do a reenactment with Vince McMahon because I could see it was a little room, like a little storage room, and it's Hunter and Stephanie with Mick there, and they're discussing everything, and then they discuss the whole thing that happened with the whole hospital thing, the debut of Sacco, the debut of the stupid clown Yurple, the bedpan incident, and they were like, all right, yeah, let's do it, just without the bedpan.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, everyone please go watch the A and E WWE biographies every Sunday. This week's is Rowdy Piper. Oh, one more thing, we will be having our very first ever Impact reactions for Rebellion. Me, Tev, and Twin will be joined along with the Dirty Heels to be watching our first ever Impact pay-per-view together for Ramblemania show. So I can't wait for that. One more thing. Um, I want to know from you if you believe this is true or not. Ronda Rousey could possibly be pregnant.
No, she is not possibly. If you go on her YouTube, she is 4 months pregnant. She is
Oh,
not.
so she is. So she is pregnant.
She
All
is.
right.
She had a pillow covering her stomach, and she went like this. She said, "Bam! 4 months pregnant." She was like, nobody knew. She said nobody knew. They kept it between just them two. I think them two or the family. I'm not too sure, but
I
she.
mean, if it's gonna be those two, of course, it's also gonna be for the family. Also, they don't want anyone else to know. Like Ronda could have kept this a secret until the day she gave birth. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh. Like being the elite. I mean, AEW. The boys are in a trailer, and Moxley and.
Yeah, put that down. We can't get copyrighted. Okay, so submitted to the approval of the Ramblemania show. This is the tale of why are we getting the Viking Raiders and Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander facing each other again. Without further ado, let's ramble. Okay, so we didn't get a chance to talk about Raw last week, so basically, if there's any grade that we could give last week's Raw, it's a complete fucking F. It was the worst Raw after Mania, and people said that last year's Raw after Mania was bad. I
So
mean, just because we didn't have a live crowd and we didn't have the virtual crowd and any of that stuff, I kind of found it to be okay, but at least this didn't do anything. Last week's show didn't do nothing. It didn't provide us with nothing. All it gave us was a bunch of mediocre returns from people who got injured, no debuts, no nothing. All we got was basically rematches of the same crap. We got Charlotte Flair looking like an alien from the MIB agency, and she almost looked like Boy George this week. I'm like, Charlotte, why do you want to hurt me so much? Like, God. Okay, so I want to talk about the opening for last week before we get to this opening. So we basically last week's opening was Bobby Lashley coming out, and what the fuck was he wearing? He was it looked like something out of Shane McMahon's closet. It was very 70s of him to wear it. And I swear to God, I thought he drank all the fucking Tang from my refrigerator.
You did the Tang.
Yeah, because dude, I mean, I know we're talking about this week's Raw, but I want to talk about a little bit of last week. This dude came out in a Tang orange suit. Like, bro.
It was dripping in juice.
And, he had his thing with Matt Riddle. He murders Matt Riddle. Charlotte just looks like she comes back and then she just looks gross with the Botox. And then she does her little poke rap naming all of the women in the women's division how no one could beat her. Just like, oh no. Here she goes, burying everyone in the women. You know what this was? Charlotte has been doing work shoot promos. And then we get more bullshit with the women's tag division because for some odd reason, Michael Nakazawa snuck into the fucking Thunderdome and just started getting the ring all slippery and slopey for Nia Jax. And then to make matters worse, Drew McIntyre wins a triple threat match between Braun Strowman and Randy Orton. I would have been fine with Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. I would have been fine with Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley. But you had to give us this match again because of this WrestleMania backlash. WWE is so smart, they make me want to throw up sometimes.
WWE get on my nerves sometimes.
So to end the show for last week, they basically said, Retribution is no more, but we still have these idiots in goofy costumes. And now they're basically doing what they tried to do in 2012 by saying, oh, CM Punk is the WWE champion. He has these 3 NXT guys beating up John Cena every week called the Shield. And he had nothing to do with them. And, it was true. He had nothing to do with the Shield because Vince told them, oh, we're not working with you anymore, even though that was his idea. Bro, this was the worst, and I mean the worst, Raw after Mania yet. And, I'm happy for the Viking Raiders coming back. But when we talk about what happened this week, I wish they would have done something else with them. If I'm gonna give last week's Raw a fucking grade, yeah, this shit gets. Oh my god, if my name was Mr. Crocker from the Fairly Odd Parents, I'd be giving everyone F's. This show was horrible. This was horrible. This was the worst show. This wasn't even like who booked this shit. This was just nobody booked this. This was inmates running the asylum. This was Vince Russo booking at its finest, mixed with John Laurinaitis booking. So we now cut to this week. We have Drew McIntyre coming out. He stabs his fucking sword in the ass of the stage. Oh, and can we talk about the stage real quick and how it looks like a Nintendo 2DS?
It does.
I'm like, okay, I understand now they had to move it to a new location because baseball season just started. It's in a college, which is cool. But sometimes I had to ask myself, I don't think we really needed the virtual crowd that close to the stage because I see guys when they come out with their pyro, I'm so scared because I feel like the pyro is going to hurt them, especially Drew's, because he sticks the sword into the butt of the stage and then he just gets fire coming down the aisle and all that other stuff. And I'm like, bro, you're going to get burned like The Undertaker at No Way Out. Just like, oh shit, I gotta run now. Take this shit off. I need like 7 bottles of water because I got 3rd-degree burns in my face, down to my arm, and we're gonna fire that pyro guy. All right, so Drew's in the ring, grabs a mic, cuts a promo about how he defeated Braun Strowman and Randy Orton to earn the spot of becoming #1 contender for Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship. Mind you, Bobby Lashley's not here this week, so we don't even get a chance to see the WWE champion this week. So
No.
That was kind of a bummer there. I kind of wanted to see Bobby, do something. So, he talks about how he's going to face Bobby and, what happened after that match with, so-called Retribution members coming in, interfering, double choke slamming Drew McIntyre to the mat. Drew McIntyre says that he's gonna get some retribution on those two guys. I'm like, nice pun there. I bet Vince wrote it, idiot. So MVP comes out. He starts talking. He starts explaining. I have no business with T-Bar and Mace whatsoever. And as he's walking down the aisle, Drew gets out of the ring, and first impressions always mean something when you separate from like a faction or if you're a singles guy. These guys pulled a horrible first impression. They were supposed to do like some double maneuver that looked like something out of the Eliminators from ECW, but
now
Mace fucked up, came in way too late in order to do the spot. So T-Bar had to do this. And then to make matters worse, they take at least a full minute to pick up Drew McIntyre and throw him back in the ring just to do the double choke slam spot. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this is not good. This is not good at all. You're ruined. Like, this is a bad first impression for just T-Bar and Mace. And then to make matters worse, after they do the spot, they walk back to the gorilla position. And then they cut this weird promo. On, T-bone steaks or T-bars or saber-toothed tigers. And I'm like, yo, Billy Graham needs to pull out his saber-toothed tiger poster right now because that could go up on sale. And I'm just like, okay, I am Turok. Hear me roar, whatever. Because I was so confused. I mean,
I was totally lost with that promo as well.
What did you think of just like the opening of this?
I didn't care for it, bro. I'll be honest, but I watched it, but I didn't really care for it. But it's like you said, bro. I would have liked it out of Randy or Braun, to be in the position that Drew is in. But I kind of knew automatically, like after they. Like once they came up with the name, like for the next pay per view, I'm like, okay, like I already know who's winning this. But I mean, it was honestly.
Like, so I mean, we cut back. We still go through more backstage shit again. Right, yeah. We see Drew McIntyre, all frustrated, like he's getting ready to shit his fucking tights and whatnot. He sees Adam Pearce in the hallway, and he just goes up like. He goes up to Adam Pearce. He's like, I want a handicap match with T-Bar and Mace. And this fucking idiot literally tells him, I would love to do that, Drew. I would love to do that, but you need a tag team partner. You need a tag partner in order to face Retribution tonight. And I can't have you going out there in a handicap match facing these two monstrous beasts. Just for it to be a handicap match, for it to be a disqualification, to transpire to be a tag match.
Yo,
but look, they don't make the match official, but they kept plugging the fucking thing within the hour.
Yeah.
So
he needs to find a tag team partner. Now they're not gonna do it. All that.
We now have our first match of the night, and it's a rematch from last week. And again, this is a prime example of this whole tag team division needing fucking help. Before I get to this match, it's been 2 weeks. Where are your Raw tag team champions? Can we get a milk carton that says missing AJ and Omos last seen at WrestleMania night 1?
Oh, if they don't show up this week, then yeah.
That's the case. If they don't show up this week, it's most likely Omos got injured, or AJ is
Omos get injured. He barely did anything. I mean,
bro, Kevin Nash could break his quad by walking. Okay, anything can happen. All right, so we cut to our first match, which is again a prime example of them really, really needing help with the tag team division. Last week we had the returning Viking Raiders taking on Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, in a good tag team match.
I enjoyed it.
We get it again. And again, it's another match. That was good. It was entertaining. It was lovely to see these two, do something. I just have one problem, and my problem is the new guy.
Oh man. Yeah, he kept on calling Shelton Cedric Shelton.
No, it wasn't even that. Like he kept calling the finishing move the Viking Experience to the Viking Express. He even called the tag team Viking Raiders the Viking Express.
He just fuck it up, bro. Because I'll tell you, even through the match, bro, he's calling Shelton, but he was like, "Oh, he's like Cedric." I'm like, "You're not Shelton, my guy." Like, yo, it's like two black guys. They look totally different, though. Like
they don't look alike. They look the same. One's bald and clean shaved. One has a mohawk and a beard. One actually sells like a maniac. One actually wrestles like a maniac. Okay, like there's no equal between these two. They're completely different people. The only problem that I have is that they really need to get rid of the black and gold like tights. You're not in the Hurt Business anymore, and give them a new tag theme. Why are they coming out with only Cedric's theme? That's another one that pisses me off because you know what? I like Shelton Benjamin's theme better than Cedric's theme. That one is dope. I mean, like, it doesn't have a lot of rapping. It has really cool uptight beats, and I hate Cedric's, theme. It's too generic. Like, oh, I have a dream when I'm in WWE, I'm gonna be champion. Like, use the dream, I have it all, and I'm like, nah. Like, nah. But again, good match between these two. Better than last week. I mean, I'm not going to say way better than last week, but it was basically the same thing, except the match was longer, and it gave Shelton and Cedric a little bit more offense to be utilized more as a tag team. I'm happy that they're being used in this position, but I wish it didn't have to be in this position every week, because that's what I feel like they're going to do this this WrestleMania back. I can't even say it. Like it's so that name is so hurtful that I can't even say it. It offends me. I want to throw up by it. I'm just gonna call it Backlash because there's no need for the other name. Like, are we gonna have a live crowd for this? I don't know. But look, I'm gonna keep it real here. Like, this is probably gonna continue until it hits the pre-show. And then it's like one of these teams is going to win. But I'm hoping after this, like there's
a flying here.
They do more with this team, with both of these teams. Like, I do want to see the New Day face the Viking Raiders. I do want to see I just want to see other tag teams like, blossom in WWE instead of just being in the developmental. But what did you think of this match?
What match in?
Viking Raiders and Shelton and Cedric.
I mean, I thought the match was pretty good. Like you said, it was pretty much the same as last week. Nothing different, honestly. It's good to see that Shelton and Cedric are not in the back in catering. It's also good to see that the Viking Raiders are they're doing something with them. I hope this is not a continuous every week thing. I hope they give Viking Raiders now a different tag team to face. Now that they done beat Cedric and Shelton twice, I believe.
It was like twice in a row they beat them.
Yeah, so I want to see something else, but yeah, the match was pretty cool. Nothing bad to really say about it. These guys they did good. The match they didn't really botch. Good match.
Anyways, backstage, with the other new guy. I'm going to blame Michael Cole for this because there are way too many new people. That like this week was I don't even think I saw Zara Schreiber interviewing anyone this week. So
Yeah.
Kevin Johnson Thompson or whatever, he interviews Randy Orton. And Randy Orton talks about like he's done with the Fiend, but you're not done with the Fiend just yet. And
Well,
he talks about like he's still gonna have unfinished business with the Fiend. He talks about all this other stuff like, oh, when all is said and done, when Bobby Lashley, beats Drew McIntyre, I will be next in line to face him for the WWE Championship. And look who just decides to scoot on by and present us with a good time. It's just Matt Riddle comes in, is like, hey, bro, I got this idea. So it's like, you don't have a championship, and I don't have a championship. Why don't we go after the Raw Tag Team Championships and just call ourselves RK Bro? I can get you a scooter, I get fangs, and we can give a theme song. I hear voices in my head. And then Randy Orton just walks away. So continuing on to that,
that was awesome.
I do believe that Randy Orton was supposed to face Drew McIntyre on this night on that show of Raw, but I think they pulled it because they wanted to do the handicap match and then evolve it into a tag match. So goes into the office of Adam Pearce. And he's like, yo, who's this nobody that's just running around in barefoot and scooters and tights and just looking all doofy like some cartoon character? Yeah, like he feels disrespected that Matt Riddle just literally like came up to him and touched him and just started like, I hear voices in my bros. And basically it's like, I want to match with Riddle. He's like, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, you better do it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I ain't gonna lie. Hold on, real quick. Adam Pearce is a little bitch, okay? Like, I'm gonna say, Adam Pearce is a little bitch. Okay, everybody, literally, everybody that goes up to this guy demanding something, he caves in. And then also, I gotta say this: I think there's an angle playing in this Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce thing. I think Sonya Deville is gonna take Adam Pearce's spot.
well, when we watch SmackDown, we will talk about that because
Yeah,
this is not
okay.
what the SmackDown or what SmackDown.
Yeah, you're right. I do apologize. That did happen on SmackDown. I do
Yes,
apologize. It was on SmackDown.
but yes, it is true. It is true. You do have your point there, and I have my point also. Like but this is not only on Adam Pearce. This has been happening for many years. Like
Yeah.
every authority figure. If your name isn't Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon, or Triple H,
Or,
you
or the newest member, Roman McMahon at WrestleMania. I don't know if you've seen when all the wrestlers were standing in line. Roman Reigns was on the line of the McMahons. It was
because he's the poster boy of the company. He's
he
the
was,
poster heel of the company. I
it was,
I, I don't count that.
he was saying stuff to Triple H, Vince McMahon, and the newest member, Roman McMahon.
I think overall, like if you're not Vince, Stephanie, or Shane, you are basically going to be the bitch, whether you're the GM or WWE official, constable, sheriff. I don't care what position it is. What matters is that you're the one making the matches, right? You're the one that's gonna look like a total bitch in the end. But you know what? Adam Pearce does hold his ground a little bit, but sometimes, yeah, he does. He does put himself in those positions where it's like, yeah, I need to feel vulnerable because I have to make this person look strong in this segment. But yeah,
Like
Charlotte comes out, and let me tell you right now,
yeah.
somebody, and I mean this, somebody needs to seriously keep the drip gimmick alive because now everyone is looking like weird in these colorful, sparkled up $1 million suits. Charlotte Flair came out in this weird purple suit that made her look like a goddamn bird. And I'm like, Seth Rollins should kick your ass because he's the drip god.
He's the drip god.
So yeah, I mean, Charlotte Flair comes out in her tall ass heels with her women's suit, And again, just work shooting, just burying the women. And then Asuka comes out. And the minute she's about to talk, Rhea Ripley's music hits. So Charlotte basically talks to Rhea Ripley like, how her and Oscar are gonna have a match later. Like, oh, you should sit on the commentary table and take notes because the way I'm gonna beat Oscar's the way I'm going to beat you when I come after you for the Raw Women's Championship at, I don't think they said the pay-per-view, but whatever.
Yeah.
And Rhea Ripley took her up on her offer. And all that, and, all that other hoopla and nonsense. I mean, and it was just it started to get really uncomfortable at first, but then it picked up a little bit.
Yeah.
So now Charlotte is basically in Asuka's face, like Asuka's trying to talk, and Charlotte's telling her, "Shut up, listen to me. I'm the queen." Blah blah blah. And I don't know. After the fifth time, Asuka just like, "Charlotte, I'm going to beat you, bitch!" And I'm just like, "Oh shit, that's the first time Asuka actually swore on live television."
Oh, for real, Oscar got crazy. She's like, "Yo, you don't understand, bitch. Watch this, bitch."
I'm like, you know what? I'm ready for this. Like this was pretty good. I mean, what did you think of this segment?
I like the segment. It was pretty good. Honestly, and I'll say this: like a lot of people dislike Charlotte, but Charlotte be cutting these promos that make other female wrestlers like, yo, be like, yo, you know what? We gotta step up our game, bro. This bitch just cut a fucking promo of maybe like of the night, Like, 'cause I ain't gonna lie, man. Charlotte got the mic, man. She got the mic skills, man. She may look like shit and stuff, but when she talks on that mic, man, she could talk. You feel me? And you know, seeing Oscar speak some English, which I know she could, I'm pretty sure she could. Just hearing her, speak some English, it's cool. I thought something was pretty dope. It wasn't that long and it wasn't that short, so it's leading to something.
I
So
mean, look for Asuka to do something that edgy. I mean,
yeah,
last time she's done something edgy is when she's in Japan, but to see her like branch out a little bit more into the American society that we live in,
mhm,
it's helping her, improve her English little by little.
that's true.
I mean, she has her YouTube channel. She does speak Japanese there mostly, but she does speak English from time to time. And I don't blame her. And this was a really good segment. Like again, Charlotte Flair, um, ever since she came back, Charlotte Flair now looks like the female edge because she doesn't go after opportunities because even if she's champion or not champion, it's true what she says. Even if it isn't a heel turn, she is the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
She's not called the queen for a reason. She hasn't held the women's championship multiple times for a reason. We cut backstage again because it's going to continue forward to this match. It's Randy Orton. He's walking to the ring and fuck Matt Riddle's like, wee!
Meow.
And then we have the match between Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, and let's hear your thoughts on this.
I thought it was a good match. I think it was the first time, right? The first time meeting for Riddle, Mr. Riddles, and Mr. Randall.
Yeah, I
Um,
believe so.
I feel like the match was good. Honestly, a little shocker. With Riddle winning. Riddle winning was definitely a shocker for me. But honestly, seeing them two guys like working the ring together, man, they put up a pretty good match, man, for the time that they had. I'll say that, and I'm happy it wasn't no disqualification and like that because I'm tired of these damn disqualifications and interference. But
Yeah.
it was a pretty good match. I'm happy with the time with the time that they gave them. They made the best with it, and I ain't gonna lie, the outcome of Riddle winning was a shocker, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I think for me, like when I saw this match, at first I'm thinking to myself like, okay, please, no more birds. I'm too high to be looking at CGI birds right now. My second thing was Randy Orton can make Matt Riddle into something here, but Matt Riddle could also make Randy Orton look super serious. Did you not see this man's chest? There was a moment, there was a point where I think one of them went to a corner. I think Randy Orton stiffed Riddle,
Yeah.
and Riddle just like, I think he kind of lost his cool there for a minute to the point where he just started chopping and forearming and chopping and chopping and chopping and stiffing and chopping the
Yeah.
shit out of this man's chest. Like, when Riddle takes, offensive moves from someone and they zoom in on his face and they have these weird facial reactions, it's good selling, but
Yeah.
it also has a meaning to it. Like, for instance, Riddle could spit out saliva and he could look like a fucking Wolverine frothing out of the mouth when he's like getting his heat back to Orton. And I like that. It was true what Randy Orton says. Like, he's not getting any respect here, and in character, he didn't respect Matt Riddle. I think that this match that they had proved that Matt Riddle could hang with someone like Randy Orton, not just beat him with a cradle pin, but also beat him clean and shockingly, like how 1-2-3 Kid beat Razor Ramon on Monday Night Raw with moonsault. You know, people were gonna look at that and be like, okay, all right, Randy Orton, gave the rub to the young guy. Good shit. Good fucking shit. I just wish he just wasn't as methodical as a lot of people say he is. Because yeah, it's all about rest holds for him. I don't blame him. Sometimes you have to be in that sort of position. How else are you gonna make wrestling look good? You can't just do it with super kicks and tricks and flips all the time, like Hercule Satan says with all the Z fighters. You got to make it at least look brutal at some points. And these two actually did that. There was a superplex spot that got me so scared because when it comes to wrestlers that don't wrestle with boots on and they wrestle with just bare feet,
Yeah.
you have to land on the flat of your feet when you take a superplex off the top rope. Otherwise, you're gonna fuck up your ankles.
Yeah. That's true.
That just scares me with Matt Riddle. But I mean, this was a really good match. I'm surprised there was no interference. I mean, the most devastating move in wrestling history. Even though it wasn't a roll up, it was a cradle pin. It was still a surprise victory overall. I just wish that maybe the match could have been shorter, at
Yeah.
least. Like, cut
No.
out all the methodical shit and just make something of the match. But it was still a pretty good match. We cut backstage again to Adam Pearce on his phone. And, guess who comes into the office but none other than Sheamus. He congratulates Sheamus about how he won the United States Championship. And, they talk about open challenges. How John Cena did his U.S. Open Challenge. And Sheamus gets the wrong idea. Like, hold on, fella. I'm not going to defend this championship in an open challenge. Not now. But I'll be a fighting champion. A fighting champion indeed. I'll make an open challenge tonight, just not for the title.
Smart.
I mean, good heel point. He has a point there. He can make an open challenge to anyone, just not for the championship. And you know what? I kind of like it that way because it doesn't have to feel. I don't want the United States Championship to feel like, oh, it's a title for open challengers only. Like, no, I think Sheamus could just make an open challenge to anyone, and whoever beats him gets a U.S. title shot.
Perfect. They want people to try to be like John Cena, but it's like, yo, John Cena had a good idea with that, but that's John Cena's idea. For me, that was John Cena's idea when he was United States champion. He wanted to give other people an opportunity, and it's great. You feel me? But I don't feel like honestly, I feel like that rule should only apply to faces. When faces have the championship, they should do that. When
they even brought that up in the promo. Like, Sheamus even said it. Is my name John Cena? Do I look like John Cena to you? And again, it's like, that's a perfectly good point that Sheamus says. Like, we can't keep reflecting on the past, especially if you want to make this belt mean something. Again, let Sheamus do his little open challenges, non-titles. Whoever beats him gets a title shot. and we're gonna be prime examples of that when we know. But again, like Sheamus doing this is a prime example of getting the mid card championship to mean something going forward in WWE. Women's tag team match between Nia and Shayna Baszler taking on Lana and Naomi. So let's talk about what happened last week, huh? Let's talk about last week real quick. So, question: can you rewind on Peacock?
No.
So how the fuck was Shayna Baszler rewinding on Peacock last week when when Randy Rose hold on. When slipped and fell on the Mania stage. How were you able to rewind that on Peacock, Shayna Baszler? Tell me. Answer me these questions.
You had a legendary status account for Peacock.
All right, so they're basically like rewinding the whole replay of Mandy Rose like slipping, and then just shows up out of nowhere and like standing in front of Nia Jax. And this is the stupidest part. Shayna Baszler leaves.
Because she had a match.
No, she had a match, but that was later on. That wasn't now.
Oh wow.
That wasn't now. So she just leaves. She just leaves like, oh, I'm out of here. Like this is between you two. I'm not supposed to be here. Bye. So basically, he just says this whole thing like, it's funny. You never see things coming. Fucking slaps the shit out of her, and then just like they Dana Brooke just shows up and they tackle her on the floor, and that's it. So later on in the match, because this was a tag match, so this is why like Shayna had to leave. Shayna didn't have a singles match; she had a tag match. So this is what happens. So Michael Nakazawa, I don't know, maybe. Just paid Michael Nakazawa to come into the Thunderdome just to fuck with Nia, rib Nia Jax. So let me tell you right now, first part of the match, the entrance, she comes in. Oh shit, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I'm about to get up. And then at the very end, she climbs up the apron. Her knee basically slips and she falls down. What happens after that is the baby faces being and Dana Brooke roll out of the ring and basically force themselves to lose the match via count out.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Don't know what to say.
So let's talk about this. What happened this week? Okay, so it's these two women facing other two women in a match. So other two women look like they're gonna win, but they don't because and Dana Brooke just fucking show up out of nowhere. And what do? They basically show us a replay of what happened last week, from the slap to the tackle to her slipping, falling, almost not getting up, and Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, losing. And then of all things, this is John Laurinaitis booking at its finest. Nia Jax, being the dumb person that she is, comes down, walks around the corner of the ring, walks up the ramp, Mandy, and Dana just fucking run. Oh, and by the way, Mandy and fucking Mandy with black boots, amazing. She's better with black boots than white boots. I don't know why. So yeah, tag team champion number 1 gets beaten by tag team girl 1 and 2.
Listen, I don't know what to think about the match, man. I feel like for that match, I don't even think I was paying attention. I did see all that go down, but I wasn't really like into it. Another match for me that was
This match was an embarrassment to the women's division, let alone the tag division, because I'm just gonna say it right now. And I'm going to keep saying it until someone makes some sort of sense out of this. But as far as I'm concerned, they really need to work on this division, singles and tag. If you cannot sit here and you cannot sit in a writer's room and tell me that this is the best you could do. This is not the best you could do. Disclaimer, please, because I'm sick of this shit. I'm basically sick of the bullshit that they do with these women. You know, people power. We're gonna amp up the women's division all over again. No, you're not. I feel like now it's just gonna go back to what it was doing before. We're gonna go back to doing diva searches again. We're gonna go back to butterfly championships again.
Oh man, please don't, man. You got some badass
I
wrestlers.
feel as of right now, I feel as if there is no return for this women's division. This women's division is in trouble. It's in dire need of a makeover. You know, you want to talk about give divas a chance. Now is the time for you guys to chant, give WWE women a chance, because holy shit, they really need this chance right now. And after what they just did in this match, I don't even know if there's any point of bringing this division back, let alone the tag division back. So, basically, we have a little promo that cuts to later on with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest talking after their match at Mania. It's all in Spanish, so I'm not going to repeat everything they said. All they basically said was, "We're just happy to be a part of this," and blah blah blah. Puerto Rico, all this stuff. Yay! I got my tour. Go buy my tickets. They're sold out. I heard they're $10,000. Who the fuck would literally? I mean,
I know somebody that got tickets already.
yeah, I know a lot of people that got tickets. But you don't want to talk about real quick before we get to Miss TV? I want to talk about that fake ass stupid fight that transpired over the weekend.
Ben Askren and Jake Paul.
That fight was so fake. Bro, I heard people literally paid a lot of money just to watch this fucking asshole knock a dude out in 2 minutes in the first round. And people talk about wrestling's fake. Nah, bro. Boxing's fake if the guy is getting paid a whole lot more to lay the fuck down.
Yeah, now I think Ben Askren got paid $1 million, but Jake Paul made $62 million off that fight. I think Ben Askren got a little more than that. I don't think he only got a million. But yeah, Jake Paul
I
made
know he had to get more than that. I mean, I think we're talking about. I mean, I don't want to pull a number in my ass, but some people will think I'm crazy. I'm thinking 7 million. The guy that laid down got paid for
yeah,
because it's fucking Jake Paul.
Yeah, I know a lot of people put money over Jake Paul to win. So I know he was saying on his IG. He said he said 65, but it was more like I think 62 or 63 million.
But this is the bullshit that I've been talking about. It's like, stop saying that wrestling's fake. If you know that people are going to go online and talk shit about what happened at this fight, a lot of people felt as if they got ripped off. And I don't blame them because this shit was so rigged. You could have at least made it last long, at least within the third round, so that people won't fucking assume.
Listen, Ben Askren is not a boxer. He's a UFC fighter, and even with it being him being a UFC fighter, he is not a striker. He is a grappler. So it's like what a UFC fight like a UFC fighter posted. He said, how can he be hyped that you knocked out a grappler? He's not even a striker. He's a wrestler. He's a grappler.
All right, but still, like, look at Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. They at least lasted a few fucking rounds.
Yeah,
They lasted a few rounds.
McGregor is known for striking. He's not known for boxing striking, but he's known for striking. So he had a little bit of a chance.
I know, but still, overall, it's just like you basically just said, fuck this fight. I don't care. Just give me my money so I could go home. All right, so we cut to Miz TV, and yeah, last week a big return happened. I don't even know how Maurice could be that big of a return, to be honest.
Big return.
Like, God, was this Raw after WrestleMania garbage or what?
Dukes. I'm gonna say, keep on saying it was Dukes.
I mean, I could have had diarrhea from watching that show. So we basically they want to talk about the premiere of their Miz and Mrs. show because Miz is having a vasectomy party and all that other nonsense and blah 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 blah. So let's talk about more shit that happened last week with them. So last week there was a handicap match between Damian Priest, Miz and Morrison. Maurice was there, and it looked like a very very bad Cinemax porn. Because for some reason Miz kept getting his clothes ripped off. His wife was covering him like he had this huge boner or something that she was trying to hide. She was like behind him in a doggy position, and Miz fell, and then she fell, and it was hilarious and whatever.
Yeah.
But again, this was a prime example of WWE failing to utilize Damian Priest as a worker and a wrestler because the minute Bad Bunny was there, they just focused on Bad Bunny more than Damian Priest, and I felt bad because Damian Priest deserves more than what he was getting. I'm just happy that he got to have the opportunity to be in Mania, but he
Yeah.
just felt overshadowed. And last week, when they did that handicap match, just proved how overshadowed he was after Bad Bunny being gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, Damian Priest comes out now and he talks to Miz and Maurice, how about what happened last week, that it was bullshit, it was a fluke. And, Maurice, out of nowhere, like, you're not Adam Pierce, you're not Sonya Deville. Who the fuck died and told you to make matches? Like, who died and said Maurice is allowed to make matches whenever she's with her husband? Like, who died and told you to do that?
Paul Pierce. I mean, Adam Pierce. I said Paul Pierce. Adam Pierce.
So yeah, so they have this bottle of wine that Damian Pierce drinks and is like, "Loco, esta está basura, coño," and then this nigga just chucks it in his face. I'm like, "Oh, okay, at least you did something." I mean, what do you think of this segment?
Um, I don't know. It honestly, first thing I'm gonna say, thank God Adam. Not. Oh my God. Thank God Damian Priest took off that purple shit out of his hair.
Oh,
I
you
don't
didn't
like.
like it?
Yeah, I don't like the colorful stuff in his hair. Just leave him regular. Just keep on changing his attire. That's all. Just the hair. Don't touch the hair. Don't be adding shit to the hair. I don't like stuff like that. I hate shit like that. Definitely when they put it on a manly guy like fucking Damian Priest. Like don't do that. Don't ever do that shit again. Um yeah, I just feel like he needs to be done with it with Miz and Morrison already and just move on to bigger and better things, man. He's a big guy, man. He shouldn't be doing these little stupid shit with the Miz, man. Leave that shit for somebody else,
Well,
man.
I
Like,
mean, I think this is most likely going to be the next match for Backlash because since it was supposed to be him and Bad Bunny 1-on-1, now it's going to be Damian versus Miz 1-on-1, and that's when Damian will probably get a bigger win out of this. So we cut backstage now to the New Day. Xavier Woods has this giant briefcase in his hand, and they're getting ready to go out. And I think it's Kofi Kingston versus Elias 1-on-1. And guess who just shows up out of nowhere? Fucking Matt Riddle after having a match with Randy Orton. They congratulate him. And Matt Riddle's like, "Hey, what's in there?" He's like, "Oh, I got something special." And they're like, "Hey, bro, if you do your music and with your trombone, you can put, pennies, silver coins." And they said silver dollars, and then silver dollar pancakes, and then they mark the fuck out.
oh man, you gotta love him, man. You gotta love them, man. Entertainment, man. This is the entertaining part, man. Like shit like this, man. Like it's
the
good time,
new
but you can't do too much.
the
It's
New Day are getting an invisible contact high every time they're near Matt Riddle. It's hilarious. All right, so we have Elias now in the ring with Jackson Riker. Elias is getting ready to play a song when all of a sudden his guitar is not, strumming anything. it's Xavier Woods playing his New Day theme with an electric guitar and all that other stuff because Xavier Woods is a cool musician and shit.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere.
I mean, this dude could literally do anything. But yeah, what was your thoughts and opinions on Elias taking on Kofi Kingston? Let me remind you, Elias won this match, which was weird.
He won it with a flying elbow.
I feel like anyone that does the elbow now is just honoring Macho Man.
Listen, I'm not gonna complain here. Okay, the match was pretty good, but honestly, like I'm gonna say, Elias doesn't do a bad flying elbow. He doesn't. He does a pretty good one. It's decent. It's decent. The match is pretty good. Um, you know, it's good to see that New Day is facing somebody different now. You know, they're not facing like the same people they usually face. You know, now they're facing Elias, and it seems like they're having a musician battle. They probably have maybe a tag team match with a musician, musical instruments around the ring and shit like that. We'll probably get something like that. Like we'll probably get a match like that where there's instruments around the ring and shit like that.
Like
But
a Symphony of Destruction match.
yeah, but they probably name it something else. But yeah, I that's what I think this is will probably most likely lead to. The match itself it was good. It's I don't know. It's good to see Elias on TV. I like Elias. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like the gimmick, the music gimmick is I don't know. I feel like it's getting boring. He doesn't see he they don't let him perform. It's like every time he's about to, he gets
I mean,
into.
he's a heel. When you're a heel, you're not gonna be doing all the stuff that you want to do
I
to
mean,
perform your stuff. I mean,
we can't really say that because when The Rock was Hollywood Rock and he would come to perform and do rock concerts.
okay, but that's different. That was back then when we had actual crowds, when they were actually able to boo and had signs. That was a ruthless aggression era. You can still get away with stuff. There wasn't a lot of strict policies back then like there is
Right?
now.
You're right.
So I
Imagine.
mean, to me, when I look at this match, I think of this as like complete and utter confusion. I was not expecting of all people Elias. I mean, yeah, if it was realistically, I was expecting Elias to win. Like he looks like he could destroy Kofi Kingston within a heartbeat. But we're talking about a fake choreographed like fight here. You know, of course, it's gonna come down to Elias might have to lose to Kofi again because whatever. But no, they did a switcheroo on us, and they did Elias with the win, which I'm okay with that. The only reason why I'm okay with that is because I think they needed a win for a long time now. Xavier Woods being Xavier Woods, there was a moment where he had the guitar. He was playing Austin's theme with the guitar,
Yeah.
while Kofi Kingston did a Luthez press and just started like punching the shit out of Elias like that. That was pretty cool, like good nostalgia, but it's just like, yeah, good pop. I just wish there was a moment where there was actually a crowd there that would know what that was. And like, oh yeah, awesome.
Like there was also another part in that segment when he was like when they were talking, he was like unacceptable. I like when he does. I like when he does that part. He said it about like 3 times. It was pretty cool though.
No Firefly Funhouse this week. We did have one last week where witches be wildin'.
Yeah.
Kill myself.
Alan.
Kill myself. But we had the debut of a new toy for us to fucking fuck around with, for WWE to scare us with. So um Alexa Bliss has her own little playground segments every week. This one now was last week she introduced the world to Lily, a doll that this week now had an actual story and everything else, and has fake skeleton heads for teeth. Why didn't I have this doll as a kid? Fuck.
I'm dead. Nah.
So,
Well, at least we got an explanation to why she left the Fiend, and it's because Lily said so.
well, it wasn't really because of that. Well,
She said,
no,
I
no,
didn't know.
no, no, no. I'm gonna explain that later. Basically, basically the only reason why she left the Fiend was because the Fiend left her, and the darkness made Alexa too powerful. So once she got too powerful, she didn't need the Fiend anymore. It was never because of that doll. The doll is basically a representation of what Alexa Bliss is now becoming, evil and sinister, and letting the darkness embrace her. The
But that
Fiend basically helped her embrace the darkness, but with the Fiend gone, she found a better source for that darkness, which was Lily. Lily was her main power, but she had to get more power from the Fiend in
really,
order to.
that part I get. But in the promo, she has said that Lily made her do those things,
Oh,
and
there's a story to that. So we go to this week and we
Lily
see
don't like.
all the Photoshop pictures of Alexa Bliss, real Alexa Bliss and as a child, but Lily photoshopped in all of the fucking pictures.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the photos of her Photoshop really looked like she was like actually like
It
a
looked real.
photo.
It looked real, and WWE is good with their production at times,
Yeah, yeah,
unless if you're just like cutting to many different angles during a match. That is absurd.
yeah,
Don't do that again.
yeah.
But all the photos with the Photoshop Lily in there made it look like she's been there. That's this whole time. Like it's
No,
all real. Like it creeped me out. And then there was a story about how her and Lily were on a swing, and she wanted a piece of someone's strawberry ice cream cone, and the girl said no, and Lily told her push that bitch off the swing. So she pushed that bitch off the swing, and then she went to the guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor like, why did you do it? And it's like, oh, my doll told me to do it. So
Lily made me do it.
every single time someone goes to court, commits a murder, they're gonna be like, I didn't do it. My fucking dick told me to do it. My fucking ex told me to do it. My dog told me to kill that cat. Okay?
Kill the fucking cat. Get out there.
Okay? My fucking 8-month-old little child who can't even speak yet told me I needed to kill my next door neighbor because he kept playing Teletubbies video games all day. No, I mean it's just like, I mean, yes, she made a message to the Fiend and to everyone in the women's division like, if Lily doesn't like you, that means I don't like you. And then we cut to Lily, getting all close to us, and then I'm just like, you hungry? I got some dog food in my cabinet if you want some of that shit. I mean, I don't got souls, but whatever. Look, this doll has to be, it needs to be some sort of source. Like, I know there's going to be something involving the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Everyone's been saying it's going to be most likely, oh, it's Aleister Black, it's Aleister Black, it's Aleister Black, because I think she said last week in the promo, she said, she threw a hint there, never truly evil or never truly good. And I'm just like,
Hey,
is that
maybe.
Aleister Black? Is that Mr. Black? I mean, it's better than him like telling people to knock on his door to pick a fight with him. Like,
Like, pick me.
but I mean, what are your thoughts on this doll? I want to get your thoughts on this doll first.
Hey, listen. Man. Like, you guys should know this already, man. Anything that goes to do with the Fiend or Alexa Bliss, anything of that nature, I'm all in. I love it. I thought it was pretty cool. We finally get a story behind Lily. We finally get a story on the reason why Alexa Bliss has been doing the stuff that she has been doing. So I thought it was pretty good, man. I want to see more. I want to see more of it. I want to see where it goes. And let's go, man. It's about time we put that title on Alexa Bliss. I think, man. I think Alexa Bliss been away from the Raw Women's title picture for a little while already. I feel like it's time for us to start leading her back into that picture. Honestly, just little by little, because you got Charlotte doing her shit. You still got Oscar, but little by little, have to have her take out, these female wrestlers one by one, leading her to the championship. Where I feel that her and Rhea Ripley could put a banger of a match.
I don't want to see just a banger because I mean, we could get those any time of the week. We can get those tomorrow if we want to. I mean, I don't care. As long as it is Alexa versus Rhea, you have to do something horrific. You have to do something visual with this. I don't want to just see these two like wrestle. I don't want to see that because it's gonna look so bland and boring. Like if Alexa wins, the match looks pointless because it didn't go towards like her forte of how she wanted to do things.
It's most likely we might get we could get like in a match with her, we could have something happen because now with the gimmick that she has, it's gonna happen just like in the feud matches where in the middle of the match the lights will turn off, something happens, and then lights turn back on. That she wins, like it could be something like that, give us some feel. But I get what you mean. You don't want it to just be a regular match. You want it to mean something.
Because Rhea Ripley being like this heavy metal like goth chick, looking strong throughout the whole thing. Alexa Bliss, going through her dark Silent Hill, whatever the fuck doll shit she's trying to do moments there. I want to see something theoretical within these two. Not that I don't want to see them in a wrestling match. It's just it won't feel as if it will fit them with physically. Not just the gimmick. I feel like it wouldn't fit with the story that they would try to sell us.
I agree.
So we cut backstage. Oh, there we go. There's our Schreiber interviewing Dana Brooke. And they laugh about everything that just happened earlier today. And then, Nia Jax just shows up from out of nowhere and whatever. So, yeah, Mandy's sick of it. I mean, Shayna Baszler is sick of this shit. She's telling Nia to get her head straight. Something is going to happen to you or else. And Nia's just yelling, or else what? Bitch, you know what else? You know or else, okay? Why do you have to say that? And then to make matters even random, fucking Wild Angel Garza appeared from out of nowhere talking about the sommelier. So now we're doing this again. We're doing this shit again.
Seems like my boy, Mr. Garza, are gonna go for big girls. Watch out for the big girl. Oh boy,
we're bringing this angle back again now, because this happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to do it last year. They did it twice, and then for some reason they scrapped it because they brought some chick from some dumb USA show from Temptation Island to be with Garza, and then that didn't work.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember that. Wow.
And then Garza was just stuck in the 24/7 division, like never to be seen again. Again, another one that was just on a milk carton, missing.
That's so true.
Okay, so we cut to, again, the more shit that was bullshit. We talked about it earlier, how Drew McIntyre wanted to face T-Bar and Mace in a handicap match, and Adam Pearce is like, Drew, I can't do that, man. I mean, I would love to book it, but you need a partner. You got to find a partner. You need a partner. You make it a tag match. You just need a partner, player. I got to get you a partner, or you need to find a partner, but I can't put you in a handicap match because whatever, they're two huge guys. But Drew's like, I can handle it. So instead of making it a tag match, they still make it a handicap match. And, to make matters worse, the match ended in a disqualification, giving Drew the win because T-Bar and Mace just said, fuck it, we're just going to beat you up because we want to beat you up. We don't care if we win or lose because we're a white guy and a black guy beating up a Scottish guy, and it's fun. And then a fucking a wild B train just shows up from out of nowhere, heading to fucking downtown Brooklyn. And nothing happens. We cut back to commercial. It's now a fucking tag match. And to make matters worse, T-Bar and Mace win.
Yeah, go there. Yeah.
They win via DQ because Drew just said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening.
But I just want to know your thoughts on this match.
Um. Hey, T-Bar Mace getting TV time.
Oh, and they have finally been unmasked. They're now Dio Madden and Dominic Dijakovic.
Are they? Are they? Did they officially call them that? I mean, we know.
No, but when you like unmask someone, that name that they had with the mask is gone. You know how like El Hijo del Fantasma, unmasked and just like, my name is Santos Escobar and I have the cocaine.
Santos Escalada.
I mean, next week I have a feeling that they're either gonna give them their old names back or they're gonna give them new names. Because when they unmasked them, I'm like, this was the weakest unmasking ever.
Because nobody, boss store was like, nobody wears those stupid.
And then they slapped them with the masks after that. Like, what kind of women are you? Like, you're men. You're supposed to beat them up, not slap them with foreign plastic objects that was in their face, covered in their sweat.
I'm gonna smack the shit out you with your own mask.
With your own plastic sweat. I'm like, my nigga, you're gross. But I mean, what did you think of the match overall with the handicap and the tag match, all together?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was pretty good. I thought it was okay. Um, Once again, it's just dumb. WWE goes from a handicap match. Oh no, okay, middle of the match. Now you guys make it tag match. That's the only thing I really dislike about it. It's good to see, these two guys, Mason and T-Bar, like get TV time. They are some very big guys. So you get a lay. Go lay. Go lay. Hey, let's go. You can still see you. Like, not like we can't see you. Yeah. So, like I said, it's good to see Mason T-Bar on TV. The match was pretty good. It's just I just don't like when they do stupid shit like that. When they, you guys announce a handicap match. Let us get that handicap match. Stop doing shit where you announce it's gonna be a handicap match, and then in the middle of a match, you just all of a sudden you tell, Braun Strowman go out there, and, make it a tag team match, and then that's what ends up happening. Other than that, the match, both parts were decent. It was okay. Literally four big guys just going at it, going at it in a ring. That's really what it was.
I mean, to me, it's like, nobody here got over because both of the matches ended in disqualification. Drew wins via disqualification, and then, Mason T-Bar win via disqualification. And I'm like, this is the most awful 50-50 booking that you could do for three guys. Not even Braun Strowman gets any credibility here. They just said, you're the scapegoat. Go in there, go have fun, and you know what? We're probably gonna have a feud between you and Drew later on in the future. But I like the fact that, like, they're gonna make Dio Madden and Dominic Dijakovic, because I'm not calling them by their retribution names anymore since they've been unmasked. I like the fact that, even if it was in two worst case scenarios, it kind of made them look strong. They didn't take a loss like a pinfall or submission, and they didn't take a win. They didn't go over someone to win. I understand that you want to make these guys look good for next week and what they're going to plan with them. And I feel as if this was a good way to do it. You unmask them, which was great. You get to see their faces again because we all know who the fuck they were. And then
we know who they were from the beginning,
Yeah. And then now I just found out that Shane Thorne and Mia Yim are gonna go to SmackDown.
Yeah, they headed to SmackDown. I want to know. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be unmasked as well. They're not gonna.
Well, I heard they're just gonna go back to the old gimmicks. Like, they're not doing the whole retribution thing anymore. That's why I think they did the unmasking here on Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, like, I have a feeling that this is going to lead to them being in the Hurt Business. Like they're just trying to play us and pretend like, oh, they're not gonna be working with us. Like it's gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
going to happen, and I think that's when it like takes place. Like I think before the backlash event happens.
WrestleMania.
So
Yes.
I mean, again, the only person that doesn't really get any credit for this is Braun because it was just like, why? Why were you even putting this match to begin with? Because what, you had a triple threat with Drew last week? So what?
You
So
want
so
that?
fucking what? All right, so we have the next match taking place, which is the Miz taking on Damian Priest 1-on-1
Yeah.
with Maurice at ringside.
That
Uh,
many things going on in 3 hours, bro. It's too much.
there's way too many things, and you know what I was telling myself the whole time that when we hit the 10 o'clock hour, where
But
the fuck is AJ and Omos? Where are the Raw Tag Team Champions?
they tell siempre corneritas, on the island.
I mean, but what did you think of this match between Miz and Priest?
Didn't give a fuck. Um, honestly, I said before, I'm say it again. I just want Priest to be over with this so he can just move on and we can see other like potential great matches. But honestly, this match was whatever. It was just like, yo, for me it was just like, all right, we get it. Now let's move on. How did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I can agree with you, but also it's just like now that Bad Bunny's gone, now it's the time for you to start focusing on Damian Priest. Now it's time for you guys to take him out of Bad Bunny's shadow and
Yes.
make him the star that he was supposed to be when he debuted.
And
You
that's why
know,
you're not gonna be able to get him out of Bad Bunny's shadow unless you move him on from the Miz.
well, I mean, he beat the Miz here on Raw. I mean, that's a start for now. That's a start to do something for now. All WWE has have to do is, keep him going, keep
Mm-hmm.
him making him look like, this huge star that Triple H made him in NXT. You know, I want to see him excel. I don't want him to just be overshadowed by Bad Bunny's huge WrestleMania success.
I feel
Like,
I feel like that's not gonna be long, Hazel. Honestly, I don't feel like that's gonna be long. Like I said, I feel like once this Miz rivalry is done for with him, that's when because this rivalry is still continuing off the Bad Bunny situation.
yeah, that's
Once
what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm hoping, after everything that happens at, Backlash,
yeah
that this is it. He can move on to other things. Like, this
yeah
is just something to do for now because one, Morrison was not here this week. Number
yeah
one.
yeah
Two, now the Miz is gonna have a rivalry with Damian Priest, because whatever. Miz doesn't have anything to do besides plug his fucking shows. So let him have a match. At least he can make Damian Priest into something. If he could, do that, then it's whatever. I'm fine with that. I know he can make Damian Priest into a star. The problem is WWE needs to make Damian Priest a star. It's not just the Miz. The
Now, of
Miz is
course,
not the only person. Anyone in that locker room could become a star just being in that ring. But the booking is the people that have to make you that star. So they need to do things to not have him be overshadowed by Bad Bunny's success during his time there. So hopefully next week they do something very different. I mean, I don't care if it is with the Miz. They just need to do something that's far away from Bad Bunny as soon as possible. Like, it's been 3 weeks already and they're still plugging his fucking tour. I would have just been like, plug the tour that day of Mania. That's it. We don't have to deal with Bad Bunny anymore because he's not there anymore. That's it. You gave him what he wanted. He's gone. He has to do his music now.
as
Focus
long
on Priest.
like I said, well, as long as that rivalry with the Miz is still going on, we're still gonna hear about Bad Bunny.
So yeah, we cut next to, and I completely forgot about this. This is how you know that I completely forgot about this whole thing, and I forgot that this happened earlier.
But
So Sheamus is now in the ring. Remember, he went into the office of Adam Pearce and he talked about this whole open challenge with the United States title. So
mm-hmm.
now he's issuing an open challenge to anyone to face him in the ring tonight, non-title. Non-title. And I don't know, like fucking, fucking a wild Humberto Carrillo,
A ripped,
a
Humberto.
brand new ripped Humberto. He does not look like the Humberto Carrillo we last. This dude had a clean face. Now this dude has a beard and he's bigger. But none of that means shit.
Matter.
None of that means shit when you get in the ring with Sheamus, because let me tell you right now, the bell didn't even ring. It was basically a murder. Like Humberto Carrillo was there to get murdered. Vince was like, "You want to get away from catering for a few minutes? Yeah. How would you like to get murdered by Sheamus for 5 minutes? Yeah. Will they get me on TV? Yeah. Will they get me paid? Yeah." I'm in.
Lily ball, Humberto Korea went inside it with so much confidence, bro. Left out of there, like bruised and abused.
This nigga said, I'm free from catering jail. I'm free from catering jail to get beat up in the ring."
Sheamus whooped up, boy. Sheamus whooped like he stole some money.
Sheamus whooped him like he beat the shit out of Jamie Noble. Like when he actually retired him, but not like in that day. But it was just like, you know what? Good for Humberto Carrillo. He got to do something, even if it was just getting his ass whooped.
Yeah,
Like, everyone needs to get out of catering jail every once in a while to get their ass kicked, right?
once in a blue.
So you know what, Humberto Carrillo was just one of those victims. So I wonder who's gonna be who's gonna be Sheamus's victim next week.
Who else was seeing that? Drew Gulak, maybe?
Well, we'd have to wait and see.
Gabba Gulak.
So we now cut to our main event, which is Charlotte versus Asuka, and Rhea Ripley is just there with her chair, and she's just watching these two women beat each other up with their long hair. And I just told myself, maybe this match was probably not fit for the main event, because this match was it wasn't bad. It was not bad. It was actually good for what it lived up for. But there was just some spots, there was some punches that didn't even connect. There was a code breaker that looked really, really, really sloppy. And I I don't blame these women. It's just because they were putting, like, again, this is Vince being Vince. He looks at the script, 5 hours before the show, and then rips it up, and then 2 minutes before, he has this whole script written up. I'm like, here, I got it. It's genius, pal. It's just such genius, pal. We're gonna have Miz wrestle in his underwear and have this tiny boner for his wife, and he's just sitting there like, this is such good shit. This is gonna get us the ratings that we want. But the show was just a failure, and this show was just it wasn't even a bigger failure. It was less of a failure. It was like, you tried but you failed.
Very much.
I mean, did this match end in DQ? I don't even, you want to. That's
Okay.
how I don't remember, because the minute, like, I got bored, I turned it off, and I
Yeah.
just said fuck it.
So I didn't turn it off, but I'll be honest, I didn't pay attention to the match, but I seen the ending. The ending, what happened? Charlotte got disqualified. Oh no, Charlotte lost. Charlotte lost, and then she went on a fucking rampage on the referee, whooped his ass.
Oh, so that's why she's suspended.
Yeah, so that, and then because of that, Charlotte was suspended indefinitely, and I believe she has to pay a fine as well.
Yes, I heard she had to pay. I think it was over $100,000. It was the work, and she's suspended indefinitely.
Listen,
Work.
you
I,
got
I
it's a work, but you have to see how she whooped the ref's ass.
I
Okay,
mean,
she
I'm looking
whooped
at it.
that boy.
I'm looking at it now, and it looked like she's whipping the shit out of that ref like if it's a dog.
He whooped that ref. Okay, so 100,000, man. I understand. Okay, whether it's give me it's part whether it's part of the storyline or not. She
I
whooped
mean,
them.
was it worth it for her to be suspended again? I mean, you just came back from being tested positive,
But
and
not
now you're taking another vacation.
but literally, bro. Right after Raw, bro. I think it was like the next day, bro. She posted pictures. She posted like raunchy pictures with my boy.
Yeah.
Friday.
So yeah, Oscar wins with the most devastating move in wrestling history with a roll-up pin, and yeah, again, like shit just gets real. What does she have on Vince McMahon to take all these fucking days off? Like, what do you have on Vince? Do you have do you have him making out with a go? Do you have him doing something with Shawn Michaels that we don't know about? What do
Man,
you have on Vince McMahon? Because I
nothing,
swear,
bro. It's just
how are you getting all this time off?
oh, when you are, and that's what people need to understand, bro. Charlotte is royalty, and and sadly, she is. She to Vince McMahon, she is a gold mine simply because she is the daughter of Ric Flair. So she is treated like such, like the queen is. He is treated like such, and Vince McMahon grants her whatever she wants. Why do you think? Why do you think when Andrade got when they released Andrade, right? My boy Andrade did not have that 90 days clause thing, but everybody that got released recently has all 90 days clause. Simply because Charlotte is a Flair. So Charlotte was like, all right, yeah, you can release him, but you can't get him the 90-day clause because he has to be able to, he has to be able to find work and, have to be able to pay bills and, stuff like that. Eventually, oh, you know what? You're Charlotte Flair, we'll do that for you. So, she's a Flair, bro. And honestly, when you're a Flair, bro, you get the perks, man, for Vince McMahon, man. You get that, you
Do
get
you think
that.
it has something to do, like, I mean, I know that they're engaged, but do you think it has something to do with their wedding coming up soon, I believe?
Probably they could probably be planning it, they thought that they need time for planning and stuff like that. And we don't know, man. It could be personal stuff, man. It could just be her wanting time for that. But we don't know. We can
And,
we you
being that she's like suspended indefinitely, if you want to bring her back at the perfect time, they've been doing this whole rumor thing about how they want to bring live fans back for SummerSlam, and then if they want to do it like at a beach or something, there's your perfect opportunity to bring Charlotte back. I mean, as a heel with a crowd.
yeah, of course.
Because I mean, Charlotte couldn't get to experience that at Mania, which in all honesty, like it sucks knowing that she had to be tested positive. She couldn't be a part of, you know, WrestleMania being back in front of fans and in front of big stadiums and all that other shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, um, I'm hoping that they do that if they decide to bring live fans back for SummerSlam. Like, please do that in the beach, but also bring back Charlotte as a heel so that you have something for the crowd to boo
I,
over.
honestly, the way Charlotte left, well, like from Raw, when she does come back, she's still gonna be here. She has to be, bro. She has to be here. It'll be stupid for her to do what she did, and then for them to bring her back after her suspension, be like, and then we see Charlotte as a face. It'll be dumb. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll keep her as a heel. I think they'll bring her back as a heel, and we just gotta see, man.
All right.
But
So give your thoughts on this week's Raw and your final grade for it.
this week Raw was everywhere, man. It was honestly a who booked this shit because it was it was more wrong stuff this Raw than any good, honestly. So I give it, and this is my first. I think this is my first ever who booked this shit. Um, for a Raw show, just honestly, this week and last week were not good Raws at all. So I'm going with a who booked this shit. I'm gonna be honest, this is my first one, and yeah.
So like last week you just given it out also.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Um, I might this might be long for me, but I have to bring this home. Looking back at what I just what the fuck? Hold on a sec.
Yeah, don't be too long because I'm trying to smoke too.
No. It's just I'm just trying to get this out of here. All right, there we go. All right, so last week was abysmal. It was so abysmal. It looked like a fucking. It looked like a bad amusement park accident in the roller coaster at Six Flags. It's like you took two different roller coasters, put them in one roller coaster track, and had them collide with each other. Here's last week's Raw. It was so good that it was so bad that we gave you 50, 50, 50, 50 loop-de-loos, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm spinning in circles. Here's this week's Raw, where we gave you 100 more loop-de-loos with some product that was just like, and then you have them collide with each other. And then when you collide them together, what's going to happen next week? It's probably going to be a big fucking disaster. It's kablam all over again. Because these two shows basically rammed the shit out of each other with bad booking, bad matches. I mean, overall, the match of the night would be Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. That was the match of the night overall, because that was a shocking upset win, and it was something fresh that we've never seen before. All right. That was probably the most original thing that happened on Raw this week. Everything else was basically the same thing that happened last week, and just worse. The women's division just needs a lot of help, and the tag team division needs help too. And if they don't fucking have AJ and Omos on Raw next week, it's either Omos is injured or AJ's tested positive.
Probably, man.
All right, those are my two theories. Keep doing this. Keep giving us more stories with Alexa and Lily. No more of this witches be wildin' type shit anymore, because if there was ever a time that I wanted to basically call the FCC to pull the plug on that episode of Firefly Funhouse, I would have called them last week and be like, no, we don't allow that on television. No, pull that plug on that shit. Just like last week, it does get a who booked this shit, but it gets a worse who booked this shit. This show was an F of all Fs. It was basically fecal feces put into dog shit, put into cow shit, put into moose shit, and then you put it into a pie, and then you give it to that person who basically liked that last week's Monday Night Raw to feed it. And now you gave us even worse shit, but this time you gave us vomit on the side.
This is the rare times that I will agree with Hazel. But
if there was ever a time that I ever wanted to go to the bathroom and miss Raw, it could have been this time. I would have sat in that bathroom for 3 hours playing fucking, I don't know, Candy Crush or Sudoku, or
the Candy Crush Sudoku.
Because sometimes you got to tell yourself, what am I willing to put up with today? Not this shit. Not this shit. Not this shit. So, this show just gets it gets another F, and next week is just going to be a prime example of why these two shows were in a car accident and give us another abomination.
Big facts.
All in all, like at this point, I could see why these two guys quit doing Monday Night Raw and left me to do it. So
Raw is whack.
Everyone, please be prepared for the brand new SmackDown review. What's SmackDown? Taking place on Friday. It will be up soon within the week. As far as audio and visual platforms are concerned, you can find us here, youtube.com/Ramblemania Show. You could basically cheer us with a thumbs up, stomp on that subscribe button like a mud hole, and share our videos to everyone on all of your social media pages. New Banter Club NXT AEW now, since there's no more Wednesday Night War every week, along with Raw Rantz and What's SmackDown now coming to YouTube and our audio platforms. You can find us on Linktree, which has our Apple, Google, Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor, all the platforms that you all have to follow us, because all the stuff that we put on there, we put it out there for a year. Twin, let them know where to follow you at.
You can follow me at IG Savage Pro Wrestle Podcast. Yeah, Savage with 2 A's. Once again, Savage Pro Wrestle Podcast. You can find me, your boy.
You can find me on Instagram at iZombies. IZOMBIIESZ. I swear, if next week's Raw is not good, we're gonna possibly just pull the plug on this shit like a heart monitor. Because at this point, I don't feel like doing 3 hours of Raw anymore.
Yeah, for real.
For Jay Savage, I'm Hazel the iZombie. We are Twin Magic. Wishing you all a pointing goodies. A 2 sweets.
Woo, and a goodbye, good night, bang.